Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's edition of Politics and Leadership with your boy Mzili Kiliki on It's Miss Television. And today we've got a very important and striking topic to discuss. Remember that the African continent is, a very strategic and important continent when it comes to, you know. Human capital and abundance of natural resources. And it was because of those two factors that the West colonized the African continent to a large extent, apart from bringing the light of civilization and Western education to the continent. But that's not the focus of this discussion today, because we are going to be delineating the very important vision, lofty vision of the Economic Community of West African States, the ECOWAS, what they have titled the Vision 2050. Now, as a prelude to this, we all know that in the past, that ECOWAS has articulated a vision that they captioned Vision 2020, which essentially was an amplification of the Millennium Development Goals. Okay, yes, and then at the expiration of that timeline, Vision 2020, it was discovered that there are still yawning gap in terms of development, and the community, the ECOWAS community came together and said, because of the fact that we still have some developmental deficits, and because there are still things that we want to achieve in our region, we would have to articulate another, vision that will guide our activities for the next 30 years. And that's what gave birth to Vision 2050. What would the ECOWAS community be doing in the next 30 years? Okay, for instance, ECOWAS essentially has to do with, the union of West African countries pursuing essential goals that would lead to the development, security, and progress of the West African region. Now, remember that the very basic, thing that ECOWAS community is after is to say to it that the people of West African region, if you, for example, if you're in Ghana, in Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and all those other countries that make up the Economic Community of Western States, that you would freely, for example, move from one country to another, sell your goods and products without any harassment or immigration issues, enjoy a lease of life, like obtainable in the developed climes, in the first world economies, okay? Yes, it's just a collective, pursuit of lofty goals that it's very centered on the collective good of everyone in the West African sub-region. So what were the things that necessitated this, very illustrious goal? Now, first, like I highlighted before, it was discovered that the goals that they, listed to pursuit for 2020 were not all accomplished. And then some of those things were carried over. For instance, security issues, it was envisaged that by 2020, all this security and social squabbles and unrest would have been dealt with, that it wouldn't be occurring in the region again. But like we see today, it's still on the increase, okay? Yes, you still have the issue of Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, Hezbollah, and all those things. And then you wouldn't now fold your arms that because you didn't achieve it the last time that you will give up on it. No, map out new strategies of taking the issue headlong to make sure that you defeat the Hydra-headed monster. Okay, so like I've said, the first issue here that necessitated Vision 2050 is the issue of security, which is largely necessitated by, the weak systems that we have in different countries in West Africa. For instance, we are supposed to be practicing democracy, but often you see the military incursion and then the military interventions that, motivated by selfish ambitions and all that. So it's been envisioned that by 2050 there wouldn't be need for the military to step in any West African country to intervene, to make sure that there's stability in these West African countries. Now, the next issue that necessitated this vision is the issue of untapped, unexploited mineral deposits that you have in West African countries. West African region is blessed with diverse, solid minerals that you have in Nigeria. Example, in Zamfara, you have gold, columbite, and all those things that are not, that has not been tapped, by the federal government of Nigeria. And then you have these minerals wasting, and we are still wallowing in poverty. Why? If you go to other climes, the first world countries, if they have little mineral deposits, they will see how they are going to maximize it, and make sure that it is optimally harnessed for the good of the country. But what we have in Africa is that these resources are wasted, and then ECOWAS has said by 2050, every mineral resource that you have in West Africa must be adequately, accounted for, put to good use for development of the region. Okay, so the next issue is that, the agriculture sector of the West African economy, or our West African countries, have been largely neglected. We have not been able to, develop the agricultural sector so that it would lead to food sufficiency of the region. Most of these African countries still import, very vital and important food stuff from developed climes that you see. For example, we still import rice from Thailand and the other Asian countries, which is not supposed to be so. Okay, we have enough arable lands that we could, put to good use, adequate use, and make sure that we become food sufficient and feed our people. Okay, yes, they even use artificial method to grow their crops over there, but we have arable lands that we could use to make sure that we produce this food and then feed our people. And what leads to crime largely is because of hunger. When there's an increase in hunger and people don't have the way without to take care of themselves, they become crime compliant. So that is it. That is why that the vision has been envisaged and being pursued spiritedly this time. And then the next thing is, the infrastructure deficit, the developmental deficit. For instance, that we have, most of these West African countries are still grappling with, the issue of backwardness in terms of availability of infrastructure. We are still, tackling the same old issues as good road, drinking water, energy, light, and all that. So power supply. So it is being said this time that by 2050, in every West African country, there will be steady power supply. Well, we don't know how possible that is, but that's a vision. It's better to, have a vision, than not to have any sense of direction at all. Yes, the vision has told us where we are going. If they had not said anything, it would have been even worse. Okay, so we accept it and pray that given our cooperation, this vision would be realized. Okay, then the last issue we want to highlight today is the need for technological advancement. The world has grown tremendously. There is this migration from analog to digital economy, and everything is being digitalized, and we still have this lag in terms of technological know-how. Okay, so it's believed that given the different bilateral agreements that various West African countries are signing, that by 2050 we would have become technological advanced, so that the things that we want to do that involves technology wouldn't be exported to other countries, or we wouldn't be calling on other technocrats from other countries to come and help us to do them. Okay, yes. So why is this vision very, very important? Why is this, why is it necessary for the West African sub-region to make sure that this vision is realized? One, it will reduce this risk that we always run. We have this self-annihilation that we normally bring to ourselves by calling on people that who, forgive my language, who are very, very selfish in terms of rendering assistance to developing countries. I wouldn't like to mention names, but they said nothing goes for nothing. When you depend on other countries for certain vital necessities, it has to be paid for in one way or the other, and that is what we no longer want. In the days of colonialism, we were hoodwinked to believe that we were being done a lot of good, but if you analyze that system very well, you would realize that we are losing greatly. Okay, so that's what we are trying to forestall, so that when this vision is realized, West African countries would rely on themselves for virtually everything, and there will be very drastic reduction in the level of crime. What we have today in this social unrest and disturbances would have been a thing of the past. And the most important thing for the establishment of the ECOWAS community is to ensure that to foster that unity of West African sub-region. If you are from Nigeria, you will see somebody from Ghana as your brother, somebody from Sierra Leone as your brother. You will be able to be freely integrate and interact with them, and the region would continue to be on the trajectory of progress, development, and prosperity. Let's not forget the one that we are all enthusiastic about is that issuance of the common currency, which the region has said that it will happen by 2027. Well, that's a good idea, so that we no longer need to be changing from one currency to another. Okay, for instance, you don't need to change your Ghanaian sefa to Nigerian naira. If you're in Nigeria, just use the West African currency to buy goods and services from wherever you find yourself at a given point in time. So it's something very, very commendable. Okay, so we are giving this kudos to the chairman of the ECOWAS community and the ECOWAS parliament, and we believe that as you people have articulated this vision, that you would work tirelessly to ensure that no excuses will be given this time around. Okay, Vision 2050 will be Vision 2050, and nothing would make us not to realize all that we have set out to do. Okay, so this is where we are going to be drawing the curtain today. My name is MC Lekeleki, otherwise known as Gochukwu Okafor Amos, saying bye for now.